Hello and welcome to a new Headliners Upgrade video where we look at potential investments that we can do and make some coins. So this is from last week. Last week was a pretty good week with investments. Almost all the cards went through except this Werner. They drew to Bayer Leverkusen, so they dropped out on the 4 in a row race. They have to start again. We had Lewandowski that went through. We were talking about this card when he was a 93. And he was at 750. We said it was a good price to buy. Lewandowski, they won the game, and also Lewandowski got an M4. So he went to a 94. His price is now at 950, but the team is also 3 in a row. So I suspect that card will rise more, it will go over 1 million. So that was a big win. If any of you thought of buying this card, I will wait for this card a bit more because I'm pretty sure that they're going to get that 4 in a row this weekend, and this card is going to go to a 95, so that's going to be a fantastic Lewandowski card. Then we had Mertens from Napoli. They won in the Champions League. They also won in the league as well, and we were talking about this card in the 595 area where it was last week. So now he's about 700, so he's 100k up, more than 100k, so that's another big win there. For any of you that got in that card. And last we have Dortmund with Royce and Delaney. Royce, I said it was a bit inflated. He was about 135. It was quite a lot of money to get into this card, but he's now at 155, so he's about 200k up. So that's a huge profit there. Over 100k for every card that you might have bought, but you needed a lot of coins to invest in this card. Instead, I invested in the Delaney, which is the poor man's investment for Dortmund. He was at 170, so I bought 4 of those cards at 170, 172, 173, something like that. I sold yesterday at 200, so I made 26, 27, 28k on each card. So for 4 cards, I made about 100k, which was very good profit. These two didn't play obviously because Manchester City had the cup game against Villa, so their game is going to go to next week. So they're still 2 in a row, so these are going to be 2 cards. We're going to have a look at them again. Then we move on to the UCL cards, where I made the most profit. These are the 3 cards that I invested in. We have Allen that I bought 2 at 230. I wish I bought more. I bought just before the game at 230 to 32. And I sold at halftime at 300. So I made 65k, about 130k and more for 2 cards only, which was great. Juan Jesus, I bought 2 at 100k. I sold at 133, so I made 65k for 2 cards. And then this Depay was a great win for me, probably the biggest one. I bought 4 before the game at a 200k each. And then after Lyon scored the goal, or somewhere around halftime, something like that, I sold all 4 for 255, somewhere around that area. So for 4 cards, I made more than 200k, which was amazing. I couldn't find Militao, to be honest. I wanted to buy Militao before the game, but I couldn't find him at a good price. So instead, I didn't buy him and went with the other team, which proved to be good for me. Dembele, I didn't really like his price to be that high. He has fallen flat now to close to 900k. He was about close to 1.2 million. So he's now at 900k. But now he might be a potential investment for the next game where they're going to play at home. But that's going to be cards that we're going to have to look next week, because this week we don't have Champions League or Europa League. We're going to have next week the second legs of the game, so we're going to have a look at them then. So let me switch this around and have a look at what headliners we have left for today. All right, so for today we only have 3 cards that we can have a look at this week, that they're 2 in a row and potential investments. Starting with this Aubameyang, they're 2 in a row. In their next game, we're looking at the 3 in a row. Arsenal not really good at this moment in time. They fell short of the Europa League with a last-minute goal. So I'm thinking that morale is not very good right now. I don't know about their upcoming game. Aubameyang is about 8 880 right now. He's a bit inflated, and because I'm not too sure about the next game, about maybe close to 830, 820 might be a good investment if the card falls that short. But I don't see it falling that much. It might fall close to 850 maybe. And still then, if you believe that the game, they can win the next game, it might be an investment for you. For me, I would probably stay away and not invest in this guy for this weekend at least. The next two cards are going to be from the same team. It's going to be Walker and Sterling for Manchester City. As I said earlier, they didn't play the game because they had the cup game. Their game is probably going to be played this weekend. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be to Man United. So we have the Manchester Derby. They're going to play away, I think, to Old Trafford. So it's going to be a hard game for them as well. But they're coming from a huge win in the Champions League. So I don't know. I think with that in mind, they're probably looking to get a result there. I don't know if they can get a win though. But in potential investment wise, Sterling, as we talked to about last week, he's at about, now he's under 330. Last week we saw him close to 300. So I would say Sterling is a good investment at close to 300k. If you're thinking that Manchester City will get that win, I'll probably wait a couple of days as we're getting closer to the game and see any news that comes out for that game and see how the teams might line up and then make my move. Kyle Walker, as we said last week, he's under 400. He's now like about 400. Is also a good move at under 400. Even if they don't get that 4 in a row, Kyle Walker is a good, solid Prem right back. So I don't see him losing a lot of value because he's used a lot for Prem teams. So even if they fall short of that third game, he won't lose that much. Sterling, on the other hand, might. So if you're looking for a good investment, I'd probably say that Walker is the good investment. But I will go into this card under 400k, as you can get, like 390, 380 if you can find a card like that. It looks to be a good investment. So these are going to be the only 3 cards. For me, like I said, I'll probably go into one of the Manchester City cards. I'm not sure which one yet. Sterling is cheaper, so you don't have a lot to lose, but I don't know how much of a dip this card might take if they don't win the game. Walker, on the other hand, I don't think it will take much of a dip if they lose. So we'll see if I get closer to the game. We'll see where we can find some good snipes or good prices that we can get into these cards. But I'll definitely be getting in either one of them. So those are going to be the only 3 that we can buy. The other 3 that are 2 in a row are going to be these 3 cards, but all 3 were SBCs, so you can't actually invest. I'm just putting them here just to inform you if you potentially have any of these cards. Dama Traore, Orsitz, which was an objective, Traore and Smalling, which was a SBC, I believe. They're now 2 in a row, so they're looking good into going 3 in a row. And we'll see if eventually, at least Adama, I know a lot of people want him. Orsitz as well, a lot of people were waiting for this card. Orsitz, I want to say that he's in a good shout of maybe getting into a team of the week for tomorrow, because I think he had 1 goal and 2 assists for this last game for Dinamo. So he might go to an 86 already. Remains to be seen. We'll see how that team of the week lines up tomorrow. So this is going to be it for this video. A slow week. We don't have many cards to invest in, but like I said, with the added new game mode with Libertadores, we might get some new exciting cards. Hopefully we get some live cards for the competition and see if we can make some investments in those. Next week for this video, we'll have obviously more headliner cards, but we'll also have the return of UCL and maybe make some investments there. I want to say about the UCL, for the first game for UCL, we had upgrades for the teams that won the first leg. That's why there was a lot of hype and you had to be on your feet to sell the card. After 1 goal for a team, there was hype going on the market. That's why I sold most of my investments in UCL. I sold in the halftime. This week, we'll see how it goes. And probably, again, if you invest in UCL cards, you have to be active. If a team scores a goal, the card will shift right away in the market. And you need to know, if you're on the winning side, you might want to sell almost right away and get some profit, and don't risk to go through the 90 minutes of the game and maybe lose at the end. So this is going to be it for this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.